You're most welcome to Semliki Safari Lodge in Toro Semliki Wildlife Reserve in western Uganda in the Albertine Rift Valley, or the western arm of the Rift Valley. So right now this is the Semliki Safari Lodge, and by names I am Mike Roberts and I am the manager of the Semliki Safari Lodge.
So I'm Jonathan Wright. I'm the owner of Semliki Safari Lodge. Semliki Safari Lodge was originally developed on a different site back in the 1960s and the early 70s. I happened to be lucky enough to meet His Excellency the President in Washington back in early 1990, around that. And he invited me to come to Uganda and to invest in this country. So I came, I visited various places, and I came to Semliki, which at the time the wildlife had been a little bit poached during the war years. But we decided to take it on because of the amazing scenery, biodiversity, and the wildlife here. And we signed an agreement with the government in 1994, a long time ago now, and started construction of the lodge and opened in 1997. And here we are today. We're still, the park is improving. It's taken a long time. The wildlife is starting to do very well. We have an exceptionally interesting chimpanzee project. We believe this is where man got up and walked. And the elephant are growing. We've just been with some beautiful, big wild forest elephant. And yeah, we're excited about the future. I chose this particular location because because of the unusual biodiversity. We're in the Albertine Rift Valley. The park sits on the edge of the Achuri Central African rainforest. We have the effects of the Sahel from southern Sudan and Lake Albert. The backdrop of the park is the Ruwenzori Mountains, and we're sitting down in the western Rift Valley. The Semliki Valley is a really unusual place. You can go to a lot of parks in Africa and see savanna elephant, but you can't go to a lot of parks in Africa and see forest elephant. You don't have the unusual chimpanzees we have here that have a different hip structure and cranium and really will teach us an awful lot about the evolution of man. You have Nile crocodiles here, but there are short-snouted crocodiles. There are warthog, but then we have giant forest hog and red river hog and all kinds of unusual things. And the valley itself probably has, in terms of a birding destination, I think it's second to none, because with the Semliki National Park and Semliki Game Reserve, I think there are probably more species than any other park in Africa. In addition to that, you get some of the most extraordinary rare species. You know, the shoebill is here. You have things like Narina trojans, pittas, there are green bulls, leaf loves, and over in the Semliki National Park, there's some of the rarest birds in Africa that you can find as well. So it's a great place, and we, you know, unfortunately during the war it was hit. It used to be one of the best places in Africa for predators, for leopards and lions, which we plan to introduce in the future. And bring the numbers up, because the density of cats was very high in this park, and it is a dream of ours that we get it back to that in the end. There is a plan to make it a national park. We've been pushing Uganda Wildlife Authority to bring Semliki under the national park structure, so it's given a greater level of protection. And I think it will, if it was looked after, it would be one of the great parks of Africa. I was lucky enough to have grown up in Uganda. So when I was a little boy, you know, I was going on safari in Murchison Falls and Queen Elizabeth National Park. And so I grew up really on most of my holidays on safari. My father was a very keen wildlife man, and so my interest in Uganda was born from an early age. You know, I love this country, and we used to walk along the Nile there when there were hundreds of rhinos in that park, and huge density of elephant and buffalo, and as a kid. So I always wanted to come back to Uganda, and I'd been involved in tourism. We had been involved in developing tourism products in Canada and Newfoundland and places like that. So when Uganda settled from the war, it was my first destination. It was where I wanted to come back to. It was really in my soul, in my spirit to come here. And so my interest in tourism was born out of that, and into lodges and development. A lot of that was self-taught. Of course, I went to university and I was educated and things like that. But actually getting into the tourism, yeah, we've learned over a long time. 40 years we've been building lodges and camps now. When we came to Uganda, there wasn't a lot in the country. You know, Uganda was just coming out of its struggles, and so we had to build with the materials we could get. So this is it's a very authentic lodge. It's really what I call built from the earth. You know, we worked with the local guys in Port Portal. We had to find carpenters. There hadn't been any swimming pools even built in Uganda at the time, so we were the first to start, you know, building those things back then. You know, you couldn't even at the time. Murchison Falls was derelict. Moya Lodge wasn't there. Para Lodge wasn't there. None of those things were there. So we really worked with the local people. We found a builder in Port Portal, David Kumwe, I think his name was at the time, and we struggled because the roads were terrible, even getting down here, bringing in timber, and gradually we built Semliki up. And Wild Places is our company, which I run with my wife Pamela. We seem to always end up going to places where nobody else goes. You know, we were the first company we came to Semliki when nobody else would come here. We went to Kidepo, Apoka Lodge, when nobody else went to Kidepo. It was considered too dangerous. So when we went to Kidepo, there were no other tourists. There were no other operational lodges. Everybody was too scared to drive because there was the cattle raiding and things like that. And so we went up there. We built a beautiful community lodge, which we run in conjunction with the local communities up at Nkuringo. And it's been very successful for the local community. So we have a strong, we like to, you know, I tend to go into areas that nobody really knows about in Uganda, and I have strong belief in those areas. I think Uganda is full of opportunities. Everybody tends to crowd into one place. You know, they go running into the Delta in Murchison or Queen Elizabeth up on the Escarpments and Kaseni area. And Uganda is much more than that. We have 9 national parks, and we have, I think it's 12 game reserves, and we have 400 forest reserves. So there are opportunities all over this country, and there are beautiful sites all over this country. And we, you know, from the tourism perspective, we need to develop more products, not on top of each other in different areas. People need to look beyond that. And we were the first people to build up at Nkuringo, and now everybody's trying to build lodges up at Nkuringo, you know. So we try to be, I remember the president when he was here one time. He was staying with us here, and he wrote in our guest book, somewhere in one of the old guest books here, he called us Batambuzi, pioneers, because we went to these wild places, you know, and he was like, I think he thought we were a little crazy at the time, but anyway, he brought us here. Yeah. What I really sincerely would love to get across both the cabinet and to His Excellency and to Uganda National Parks. Uganda is one of the most biodiverse countries in the world. You know, it has, from an African standpoint, an African wildlife standpoint, incredible geography, incredible rainforests, incredible ability to hold and support many different species, from primates to the savanna species, ungulates to cats to elephant. But the biggest problem we have in this country is that, one is we don't really understand our national parks properly, and two is, from that, we are not utilizing most of our national parks properly. And at the moment, we are inundated with problems with poaching. Now, what I would love to see addressed from Cabinet and from the President is that we have a zero tolerance approach to poaching in Uganda. And if we can eradicate the snaring, which is a terrible curse on our wildlife, we lose thousands and thousands and thousands of animals to snaring. We lose elephant, they have their trunks cut off. We've almost lost our lions, even in Shasha. You know, the lion population is tiny now. Throughout there, and we're losing lions in Kidepo from snaring, and we've lost lions here from snaring, and they're an indiscriminate killer, and we need to eliminate. If we eliminate the killing of the animals and the snaring of the animals, this country will, you won't even have to market Uganda. Trust me, you won't even have to go out and spend millions of dollars selling this country. So one is we need to the number one thing is we need to stop poaching. That's it, full stop.
So when you come to Semliki Safari Lodge, of course, you either drive in all the way from Kampala, or you come in by air, because we do have an airstrip that is attached to the lodge. So you can either fly in or you can drive in, and then when you fly in, we do transfers.
You're welcome to Toro Semliki Wildlife Reserve airstrip. This airstrip, we normally get different planes which are bringing our clients from the area Kajansi, and mostly the planes which are coming here for aerolink and migration mostly. So really, you're welcome.
So when you come to Semliki Safari Lodge, immediately you come in, you are ushered in by a team of boys that will help you carry your luggage into the main lodge, where you are treated to a VIP experience. You are treated to a welcome juice as you're having a briefing about the lodge. So basically, Semliki Safari Lodge is one of those wild places, establishments that we are very, very deep in the wild, where you expect to have calmness, where you expect to have peace, to enjoy the quiet ambience, and you're treated to sound of nature. So when you're at Semliki Safari Lodge, obviously you are going to have, as I said, a VIP treatment, and treated to a full board package. So with the full board package, then we do provide accommodation, very, very splendid accommodation. We have meals included on your package. So a continental breakfast, a 3-course lunch, a 3-course dinner, already all inclusive on your package. You find there is laundry service being also included on your package. We do run a solar operated system, and so you will not have issues with hot water or issues with power. So while you're at Semliki Safari Lodge, you're sure of having hot water in your room at all times, as each of our cottages is powered by a solar system with its own solar heaters, so you feel you're very much comfortable. Again, we do provide wake-up calls. You can just imagine if you somebody's coming to your door to wake you up with a hot chocolate or with a coffee, and accompanied by some foodies, very early in the morning. Quite an experience, somebody coming to your door for a room service. So we do provide room service, we do provide wake-up calls down here. And as well, at Semliki Safari Lodge, we are kind of, it is in a lowland, and so it gets a bit humid. But then when you're here, we do have a very refreshing swimming pool. So you get to plunge yourself into the swimming pool and enjoy. Even we can provide meals, we can provide drinks at the swimming pool. So you really feel you are in the wild. You really feel, just imagine having to swim in a swimming pool in the bush. It's quite an amazing experience. We are deep in the wild, but we still keep connected to the world. We do have a very reliable internet. So when you're at Semliki, you really don't say, oh no, I cannot connect. So we have a very functioning Wi-Fi 24/7. That's quite another good experience. Why are we in the wild? Basically, we are in the wild because we need to view nature and wildlife. So at Semliki Safari Lodge, we do carry out activities. Our activities are broadly categorized into three. That is the game drive, the safari walks, and the boat cruise. So we are so lucky that we are neighboring Lake Albert, which just lies in the north of where we are, and that's where you can find one special bird that is called the shoebill. So we actually have over 450 bird species here. So just imagine you are in the paradise of the birding world. But then if you're into the shoebill, we do carry out the boat activity on the lake. And we actually have two powered boats, and which are eight capacity. So even if you are 16 coming over here, we do have boats that we can take you for an activity on the lake. As I said, we have the game drives. We have our beautiful game viewers where we can do either a morning game drive or an evening game drive. And of course, here we are looking at going for wildlife viewing. We are looking at the forest elephants. We are looking at the forest buffaloes and different other mammals that are found at Semliki Safari Lodge. Like a very, very wild safari lodge, when you're here, all you can get is sound of nature. You're free, you're out of the noise from town, you're out of the noise from urban areas, and here you just get the sound of birds, the sound of animals. Just imagine waking up to colobus monkeys singing for you early in the morning. You have different leopards roaring in the forest. So it is only the birds, it is only the animals that you are able to find. The place is very peaceful, that there is no any other sound that you get. It's very, very ambient. Even if it's not for the animals, the nature itself, the forests, the plants, the animals, I mean, the savanna itself, this is a woodland type of vegetation that is here. So you are going to find a lot of natural attractions that are at Semliki Safari Lodge.
So right now we are heading for our evening game drive, and we are going to do a sunset look where we expect to see some buffaloes and elephants, because our elephants here, they normally come out during a late evening, and they spend the whole night in the savannah. I welcome you to our Sundowner, and this track which we are in is called Sunset Loop. Always Semliki as Safari Lodge, whenever we have any activity or a game drive, we normally have a Sundowner. We go and set our table or our bar outside, then we enjoy the drink. So meanwhile we are waiting the sunset.
We do set our bush bar in the bush here, and it's best done when you're targeting the sun setting. So when the sun is setting and you see the orange in the background, then we have spots where we see the animals. So you can just imagine the sun is setting, then the animals in the background, and you have your bar. So you chill there after driving throughout the park. Now you've seen everything, you've seen all the animals, you feel like relaxing, and wow, from nowhere in the bush you have a bar set. So you take very nice pictures, you get very nice histories, you get very nice stories from the guide as he tells you like a wrap up of what you covered when you were doing the entire game drive.
Okay, I welcome you to the campfire here in Semliki Safari Lodge. My name is called David. Always after drive, even though some clients will not go for drive, we normally put a campfire around, and they have something to drink, and we talk a lot of stories. Sometimes what the stories which really pertaining about the park, and what are the main activities which is being carried out here. So we normally tell our clients all those things which are really we normally do around here. Basically, Semliki Wildlife Reserve is the first protected area in Uganda. I can say it's the oldest park in all the parks in Uganda. It was gazetted in 1926 because of the big number of antelopes we had here, and buffaloes. We have elephants, the forest elephants and savanna elephants. So that was the main point to gazette that this park by that time.
People wanting to contact us at the Semliki Safari Lodge, we've got social media handles, we've got contacts that we can we give. First of all, if you want to contact us directly on a call, we are at 0772 70 70 07 0772 70 70 07. You can contact us or through our reservations desk, and that is reservations@wildplacesafrica.com, or you can contact us directly at our head office through info@wildplacesafrica.com. Our website is www.wildplacesafrica.com.